Welcome back, Shalligators. 'Tis the season to have people drive you fucking crazy. Today we're gonna talk about the Kardashians, who we haven't talked about in a minute, actually. I feel like for a while we were doing too much. I'm like, we're gonna take a K break. We're back. Because in a recent episode of their series, Khloe said something that I was just like, oh, girl. Yes, that she felt like around Kourtney, she was just on eggshells. And boy, oh boy, again, 'tis the season. Maybe you're home with family, maybe you're dealing with other people around you who are just hella stressed and they're stressing you out. Maybe you're in kind of like a weird, rocky place in your relationship. The holidays put a lot of pressure on everyone. I hate feeling like I'm on eggshells. And I recently got out of like 2 different scenarios where I was just like creeping around. And it wasn't until I got out that I realized how eggy shelly I was. I realized I was the frog in the pot. And the difference inside that dynamic versus once I like finally let it go was night and day. So I want to talk about this. I'm going to give you some very actionable steps and something, including something called the Jade method, Jade. I know, it's anything that ties into jewelry, great. We're going to talk about how to deal with people like this. And if my last video on Wicked and codependent love bombing friends who are just like, whoa, like this is way too much. If that really resonated with you, then this is a really good follow-up / companion piece, because a lot of times these dynamics walk hand in hand. A friend who is just like sort of inappropriate boundaries, you find yourself on eggshells. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into it, I have extended my Shallontourage Black Friday. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize like the link was maybe messed up on the last video. And so I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna extend this. It's my house and I can do whatever I want. And I want all of the guests, all of you wonderful girls to come and visit our beautiful little cozy corner of the internet, the Shallontourage. We've been talking about power leaks, boundaries, explaining yourself, comparing yourself, fuck boys coming back, your nervous system being in an overload. Whew, and like how we regress around family and how to stop that. Basically how to like stop all the power leaks. Plus you get full access to everything I put on there, including our previous archive. Let's see, our group chat, Eva week this year. So come on in, you get 2 weeks free. Why not? I am gonna eventually end this tonight. I will shut this off tonight. So come on in. I'm sorry the link didn't work before, but we still wanna have you join the party. So let's talk Kourtney and Khloe. I feel like all Kourtney ever says is matcha, Simon, my family, Travis, boundaries, negativity. I've never seen someone who is such like negative energy who loves to accuse everyone else of being negative. I don't look at Kourtney and be like, that's a really positive person. That's a glass half full kind of girl. She's a Debbie Downer. She's mean. And she's been like this forever. Only like in the past when she was younger, it was like funny and sassy. Every guy that I date, I always ask like, who's your celebrity crush? 9 times out of 10, they say Kourtney Kardashian, or at least they used to. I feel like they're picturing like 2012 Kourtney, you know? When she was like all natural, that's the thing. She's sassy, she's a bitch, and she's all natural, unlike the other girls. Very interesting. I don't know. This is just the feedback I get from the dudes I happen to date. I feel like though she turned a corner quite a few years ago with her like boundaries. And they're like, we're literally asking you to show up to film. Okay? You don't get to say boundaries. She's the kind of person who's done so much therapy. She has this bizarre glossary that she can choose from. Like she thinks she can play these cards and they automatically make her right. See also like a hyper woke person who's like, I'm neurodivergent. Ma'am, I don't care. I'll have a grande cinnamon dolce latte. Like they're using these terms to get out of normal human behavior, normal human interaction. And they think that being offended always makes them right. I don't know about you, but I had my fucking fill of this personality around 2021, okay? And Kourtney has like not really evolved. And the last time we talked about Kourtney, it's that she was saying, she was doing that, some Dolce & Gabbana, Skim, whatever, some ad with Kim. And she's like, I just have better things to do than work out. Like I'm just not that girl anymore. And ever since then, every time I watch her, it's a consistent, look, Kourtney, if you just want to like descend into obesity, great. I don't fucking care. I don't think your sisters care either. But everything she says, like she always dresses up her malfeasance as some sort of moral superiority, this incredible high ground. I have better things to do than work out. Like what? Not like you need to spend your life in the gym. God knows I don't. But like, what are you doing? Are you a congressman? Are you sweeping for landmines in Angola? No, the thing that she's always so busy with is like my husband and my kids, I feel like she uses this husband card. It's like, oh, my husband, I'm a wife. And nobody else in that family is a wife. Think about it. Not even Chris. No one's a wife. Are they? No. And I feel like, girl, you act like you're Miss Independent, you're Miss Higher Level. You're the most sad, basic bitch in the world if all you're doing is defining yourself by your relationship with your man. And I don't know if you've heard the rumor that he was cheating on her. We're going to do a whole separate video on that because I want to talk about what to do when someone cheats on you and like actually upgrades. Like she's hotter. She's hotter. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, but we can get through it together. So yeah, Kourtney's lost me. She's just, all she can say is everyone's negative. Everyone's so negative. I don't see what she's doing that's so positive and buoyant and happy and bouncy for the world. She looks like some motocross girlfriend from 2006. She's always wearing like long sleeve band t-shirts in black and white with skulls and checkers. I'm like, you have no identity. You just shapeshift into whoever you think Travis wants. Well, how's that working out if he's cheating on you, girl? Don't you be throwing stones. So I can't do the video, but I can play the audio of the conversation her and Khloe had, because apparently Kourtney left the group chat. She's like, you guys, the negativity. I can't stand the negativity. And she left the group chat. And so Khloe does what she always does, which is come to Kourtney. She like slithers on over there to ask Kourtney, why are you mad? This is why I'm here. Let's hear what they had to say.
Lately, I feel like all I do is walk on eggshells around Kourt, and that's very strange. She's also the one that started this. Leaving the group chat, picking on me. I wasn't even talking to her. Are you still mad about the group chat? Because that's why I'm here. You're such a pussy. Why is that a pussy? To leave the chat? To leave the chat because you can't face having a conversation.
No, it's called protect the energy. And
you're the one that started it.
No, I'm just like, have we really become the negativity chat of just talking shit about everyone? I don't have time to worry about anything except my immediate family.
You said, can't you just let people be them? And I said, yeah, can't you let us be us? If these are our feelings, why can't we have our feelings in a safe space? We're like a family. This should be the safest space. And then you were like, God, I'm exhausted for you. And I said, well, I'm exhausted for you. It's crazy because I don't think she picks on the others the way she does to me. Like, because she'll say, like, the craziest responses only to me, like, shut up, Khloe, or like, you're so stupid, everyone knows, because I'm the easiest one. You know I'm not going to yell at you the way Kim will. If I spoke to her like that, she would go to therapy for 3 weeks about it, and and look what you did, and I have my boundaries. You're not allowed around me to burst my bubble.
Khloe, you're right. She doesn't speak to anyone else like that. She doesn't speak to Kim because Kim will pop off. This is the law of the jungle. This is the law of the jungle. And when people are like, Shallon, you're too spiky, evil, weak, revenge, ruthless, well, people don't come at me sideways very often. And if they do, not for long. They fuck around and they find out. Bullies like the weakling. No bully goes after like the other lacrosse captain. They go after the nerd. They go after the weakling, the isolated one. And if you look at the historical dynamics in that family, I mean, Khloe now is like beautiful and super fit. That's not what she was. She was like a giantess. She's only like 5'8", 5'9". I mean, she's not, but these girls are like 5'0". She was like the big oafy one. the one who was always like bad in love, right? Like sad sack. Maybe her dad was Robert Kardashian, maybe it wasn't. So she was always like the easy target for a bully like Kourtney. Kim was not. Like, they would always go head to head. And remember, her and Kim would go head to head because Kourtney's a classic narcissist, classic, where she had to be the queen bee. And then here comes Kim, obviously the most famous woman in the world for a very long time. And Kourtney just couldn't fucking handle it. So when her attempts to knock Kim down a peg definitely didn't work, and Kim was fighting fire with fire, Khloe, rah, rah, rah. That's who she's going after. That's who she's going after. And here it is playing out into adulthood. And notice, she's like, my family, my immediate family. You don't consider your sister immediate family? My kids. I've always said about Kourtney, she's obsessed with her kids because she can control them. Because she is the king of the castle. That's a lot of narcissists love being a parent because it's their own little fiefdom. And when someone has us on eggshells, it's very tempting to do what Khloe is doing. How can I make this better? I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to get to their level. Well, when they go low, I go lower. Believe me, you. I'm going to talk to them maturely. Hear this. A bully, when confronted with someone who's coming at them from like a heart-centered place, I want to talk it out, I want collaboration, it's just blood in the water to them. It is just blood in the fucking water. I'm going to bring up something I brought up before. When I was in Army, ROTC, in college, I almost joined the Army. I really wanted to, but family said no. Anyway, one thing that was like drilled into us is you must always analyze, is your opponent, is the person you're fighting after peace or victory? Because they're very different. If everyone here is after peace, the resolution presents itself fairly quickly and without much bloodshed. But if both are after victory, then we fight. The worst dynamics to be in, and we studied all sorts of American engagements from Vietnam to Somalia to World War II, all of these. The worst engagements are when we have been after peace and they have been after victory. That has resulted in the longest and most senseless loss of life. Somalia was actually an excellent example of this. If you ever saw the movie or read the book Black Hawk Down, it took place in the Somalian conflict. We went out there to take out a dictator who is starving the country. I mean, you think of Somalians, at one time you thought of like emaciated people. America went in to intervene, and I say this from a firsthand standpoint because not me, but remember the cadre, one of the majors who was teaching us, he was there. He was in that conflict. And he's like, we would install power lines and telephone lines. The next day, they'd all been stripped. They'd all been stripped of copper. We would try to set up the infrastructure for sanitation and garbage collection. All the trucks had the tires taken off. And we were like, okay. And they'd be shooting at us the whole fucking time we were running a telephone line. They'd be shooting at us the whole time we were trying to get aid through. It was just, they were so frustrated because they're like, and this is where that concept came from, peace or victory. We were after peace, they were after victory. At least, listen, there's different ways to look at every single conflict. That was the American point of view. I'm an American, you don't like it, I think you're on the wrong channel. I'm sorry that you are today years old and you learned I'm not Somalian. I say this because, taking this back to Kourtney and Khloe, and therefore into your life, Khloe goes over there after peace. Kourtney is after victory. And so when you go to a predator from this, let's talk, they see you even more so as prey. Even more so as prey, not less. They're like, oh, I've really gotten under this person's skin. Now I know where to hurt them. Now, if they felt like they were on eggshells before, let me add a few more eggs. This just got so much easier. How do you deal? How do you deal with someone who keeps you on eggshells? You know what? If it's fragile, let it break. If it's fragile, let it break. And you might be saying, that's nice. That's nice, Shal. I'm on eggshells with my mother. I'm on eggshells with my boyfriend. I can't just let it break. Yeah, you actually can. There's plenty of people out there who have either cut a parent off, and listen, I'm not saying undertake this lightly, but they have put up some healthy boundaries. One of the relationships I was in where I was on eggshells was a boyfriend relationship. And once I got out of it, I was like, I'm sleeping so much better. I don't have these chronic headaches. I'm not so angry. I'm going to like leap over the counter at this person who made my coffee wrong. Like, because that feeling has to go somewhere. And you know what? Hurt people, don't they? So if you think you're just an eggshell absorber, no. That's coming out in other ways in your life, right? Bullies create victims who become bullies themselves. And looking back on that relationship I was in and the eggshells, I'm like, what was that for? Not, well, how did we get there? Like, I don't mean this in a self-gaslighting way, like, well, was it that bad? No, it was. But like, to what end? Do you know what I mean? So what was my goal here? I marry this person, I'm on eggshells for the rest of my fucking life, and it actually just gets worse? Why was I doing it? Why was this worth it? Why was this worth it? And you might be saying, that's cute. A boyfriend, yeah, no, a boyfriend isn't worth it. My mom though? Let's break this down. What is a mom? What is family? Like Khloe said, this is supposed to be a safe space. I'm supposed to be able to express myself and still be loved and still be accepted. And you are making it very clear how conditional your love is, Kourtney. You're going to leave the group chat. You're going to call me this. You're going to say that I'm negative. You know, it's like this. If I can't have this unconditional love here with family, then what the fuck is the point? Then what are we doing here? I mean, think of it that way. I just don't know that there is any relationship worth your peace. And listen, from Kourtney's point of view, that's kind of what she was saying. I have to protect my peace. But you know, she says this about everything. That's not the salad that you should be. I have to protect my peace. My peace, my cat. Simon! That's her. She is the girl who cried boundaries. She's the girl who cried negativity. Everything is negative. Nothing is ever her fault. Notice she has never been like, I need to go to Kim's house and apologize. I really need to have a sit down with Kourtney. I was completely out of line. Or even if I don't think I was out of line, she's upset, I have to go to her. I've never seen that episode. Where Kourtney, of her own volition, I can't stop fucking with the bangs, I'm sorry. Of her own volition, was like, I need to make this right. It's, you can come to me. Right there, if that's your attitude, you can go fuck yourself. Because you have just identified, you are here for victory, I am here for peace, then there's gonna be bloodshed. I don't fucking need it. I don't need it. I will take myself out of this game, I will pack up my troops and I will go home. I don't need this. And I wanna get into some more ways to deal with this other than fuck them, although that is my overall advice, fuck them. I'm sorry. If it's fragile, let it break. Just find out, like literally fuck around and find out. And the next time you feel like, oh, I can't say that, and oh, let me just really clock my tone. See what happens. I will tell you something. I have had people say to me, Shallon, I'm on eggshells around you. And I was like, what? Listen, I shouldn't be surprised. I've said a million times, I know there's like a bully inside of me. I channel it here in like a positive way to like bully you girls into like the best version of yourselves. But if I didn't have this, I would be a monster. I'd probably be incarcerated quite a few times over. I know what's inside of me. And here's my response. Like you want it straight from the horse's mouth. You want it straight from the bully's mouth. Let me tell you the psychology, okay? My response to that, I don't know if I said this or if I just thought this, then this is on you to stand up for yourself. It is not my job to police like your interaction with me, right? If you have a problem with how I am and what my reaction is, you have to tell me. I don't know. Of course I don't think I'm acting inappropriately. Of course I don't want to have everyone on eggshells. If that's how you feel, you have to be a woman and come to me about it. That is not for me to manage. I can only manage my behavior, but obviously I don't think there's anything wrong. So I can't change what isn't being brought to me as a problem. Is that toxic of me to say? I don't know. But I also, it's like, of course I don't want people on eggshells. And my mom had said that to me. She's like, I feel like I'm on eggshells around you. And we were talking, came down to politics. She's very liberal. I am much more conservative now. I'm still a moderate, but like, you know how it is to hyper liberals. Like, even if you're moderate, you're like demented. Like, you might as well be in like an SS uniform. It's like, not at all. Not at all. You guys just relax. But she's like, I just feel like I'm on eggshells with you and you just disagree with me about things. I'm like, so disagree. So disagree. Like, what do you think? I'm going to cut you off? And she's like, well, maybe. I'm like, first of all, that's doing a real disservice to me. I would never do that. Certainly about politics. My God. I would never cut you off at all. And like, give me a little bit more credit. Give yourself and give our dynamic, the strength of our bond, a little bit more credit that like, it's gonna be okay. I can survive a conflict. I can hear something I disagree with and simply carry on living my life and loving you and being fine. So it's like, if you think you're doing a dynamic a service by being on eggshells, you actually might be doing it the greatest insult. You might be. You might be selling that person really short. And at the very least, you're selling yourself very short. So let's get a little bit more clear on how to deal with someone around whom you are on eggshells. Number one, name the dynamic. With Khloe, what she should have done, because this isn't about the fucking group chat. This isn't about the group chat, the negativity and the vibes, the matcha. This is about emotional management and compliance. This is about reading someone's mind and doing what they want at all times, right? And this is pushback I gave when someone said, they were on eggshells with me. I'm like, girl, I'm not a mind reader. I have no idea how you feel. If you're like agreeing with me and going along with something, I don't know, right? But someone like Kourtney expects you to know and will get mad if you don't. So you need to call that out. Again, no one can change what isn't being acknowledged. And if Khloe would be like, this is not about the chat, this is not about vibes or matcha, this is about Kourtney needing to be in control, would she still have gone over there? I would hope the answer is no. I hope she'd be like, you know what, bitch? You think you're busy? I'm fucking busy. We're all fucking busy around here. Now, if you're too busy to communicate like a grown-up, then adios. Adios. But I don't think she was. And I think she was doing exactly what Kourtney was doing, which was relying on this sisterly bond. But Kourtney was doing it in a very toxic way. She's not going to pull back. I'm her sister. She's not going to put up a boundary. It's family. I don't know. Kourtney made it really clear that you're not immediate family that matters enough to her to be mature with. Like, even Khloe going over there, salads, trying to make things right at every single turn. And what we heard, Kourtney was like, no. She was doing her best to annihilate any attempt at peace. Any attempt. And she has done that consistently, like, forever. And I don't know why anyone in that family speaks to her. I am blown away that she has any relationship with anyone. Blown away. It's not like she's interesting on camera. Okay, we talked about jade. You are going no jade. No jade. What is jade? Justify, argue, defend, explain. We just talked about this. We went to a very deep dive today in the Shallontourage for Wisdom Wednesday about why explaining yourself is the root of all misery. Like, it's the root of so much misery. And when I found myself at my truly most exhausted and most rageful and most burnt out, it's because I was doing a lot of explaining. And a lot of that was with people who had me on eggshells. Why? Because eggshellers, I'm sorry, I won't cut bangs again because I keep doing this. Eggshellers love to drag you in, first of all, to ambiguity, right? It's like this haze of, they're going to be mad. It's anxiety. Which is what we talked about in just the previous point. Like, name the dynamic, give it a name, drag that ambiguity out into the light, shine it. They don't want you to do that because then their modus operandi becomes very clear. Okay, the jade situation, they want you to explain and defend yourself because now it's an argument. And again, what are these people after? Dominance, victory. Someone who's after peace, you don't need to explain. It's okay. It's okay that you want to do this. It's okay that you talk about this in the group chat. We're all just after peace. It's fine. That's not what they're after. I have found that I do a lot of explaining with the eggshell people, right? Well, this is why. And I hope, because I'm looking for approval. I'm looking for approval. I want them to be okay with something, right? But when you do that, you introduce a narrative that they are going to use for one reason: manipulation. Manipulation. Again, we go way into this in the Shallontourage video today, and like all the other things that are behind them feeling like you owe them an explanation. Next, you need to limit their power by changing the stakes, right? People like this only exist, like this dynamic only works because you care. She's my mom. He's my boyfriend. We've been best friends since high school. How would you act if they were just a person? How would you act if your mom wasn't your mom? She was like your tennis coach and she acted like this. How would you treat your boyfriend if he was just a platonic friend, or if he was a girl? You'd be like, shut the fuck up. How would you feel if this friend you'd known for 2 weeks instead of 20 years? And just do a thought experiment, because that is going to illuminate, again, the dynamic that's truly at play. What are they after here? Are they preying on this bond and the elasticity? The elasticity, like we always say, is one of your best qualities. The loyalty, the love, the history, the responsibility, the commitment. Are they twisting that into a weapon, into a target on your forehead? With respect, fuck whoever that is. That is not your friend. That is not a lover. That is not a supportive family member. And I get that you only have one family. I get it. I have one person in one family, okay? Believe me, I get it. But I also understand that I only have one life. I only have one life. Am I going to spend it kowtowing to someone who is after victory over me, who is after my compliance and dominance? I don't know, dude. Like, I've been in both scenarios. Like, I've had a boyfriend who wanted that from me, and I am a hell of a lot happier single. Because there's nothing like pressing down on me. Next, you're going to set some invisible boundaries, right? We love to like say, I have a boundary. No. You simply gray rock. We talked about this a lot yesterday in the Ariana Wicked video. Like, when there's a codependent friend, like, I need you. You just don't answer. And sometimes not answering, it's the hardest thing in the world. No answer is the hardest communication of all, which is crazy, but it is. But if you can get good at this, I'm not answering something in that tone. I know what she's doing. I'm not taking the bait. Like, if Khloe had just let Kourtney leave and been like, well, bye. She said herself, there's 12 other group chats, so who cares? But then here she is at her house, literally like, trying to get this back to a good place. Do you not think that's exactly what Kourtney wanted? Because this is how she gets her wiggles out. This is how she gets her ego boost and power, as all bullies do. They get it through manipulating and dominating other people. And if Khloe had just been like, smell you later, but meant it, and stayed with that, eventually Kourtney would stop doing these histrionic things. She would just stop, because she's thriving off the oxygen, the attention, like a narcissist does. She's thriving off that like ego boost, someone to be mean to, like a bully. And again, when you look at a dynamic, it's like, so this person's a narcissist, a bully, into dominance. Tell me again why this is worth your time. Tell me again why this is worth your time. If you can get away from someone like that, you should. I don't want to be alone. You're worse than alone. You're worse than alone. The most aloniness I've ever felt was not when I was single. Not when I was single. It's when I was in a relationship like this, where I was not just losing people around me. That's not when you feel alone. You feel alone when you lose yourself. Self-abandonment is the isolation. Self-abandonment is lonely. I think you know that. Maybe that's not the word you put to it, but when you get down to it, yeah. You can make more friends, dude. And of course, you can't make another mom, you can't make another dad, but you can have a life that is peaceful enough where it's not the worst case scenario. Next thing you're going to do, stay calm. Again, you're not going to take the bait. If Khloe had just been like, okay, bye, and then not gone over to her house and groveled, eventually Kourtney would cut this shit out. I mean, I don't know, maybe she wouldn't, but she would stop running that game on Khloe, which Khloe knows because she's like, she doesn't do this with Kim. Aha. Aha. I think like the big thing we tell ourselves about an eggshell person is that, well, they just do this with everyone. Listen, this is my next point. That actually is true. But not everyone tolerates it. Not everyone tolerates it. So why do you? So why do you? There have been plenty of people, I'm sure, if you look at that eggshell person, who have been like, I don't fucking need this, and they walked away. Maybe it was their own family, maybe it was their sisters, maybe it was their boyfriend. It's like, I don't need this. I don't need this right now. Why are you staying? You know what we say? Don't ask a clown why they're a clown. Say it with me. Ask yourself why you're at the circus. Yes. Why are you the one who puts up with this? Well, because I'm nice. No, you're not. You're a fucking pussy. Like, yeah, Kourtney leaving the group chat was a pussy move, but Khloe's going toe to toe with that, crawling over to Kourtney's house to like make things right or whatever. And you could say like, well, this is for the show. These dynamics play out ever. It doesn't matter if it's for the show. Like, that's not the point, okay? That's not the point. These dynamics play out constantly. And I actually don't think this is for the show. I think that this is like, no one's that good of an actor in that family. I think if you've watched All's Fair, we know that. These are their dynamics. Maybe a few things are like different or fabricated, but these are their dynamics 100%. So I want you to keep all of this in mind the next time you automatically switch into this compliance, because that is the thing, girl. It is automatic, isn't it? And you don't realize that until you get out of it. And then you're like, whoa, I was censoring myself a lot. Wow, I was way more than meeting them halfway. I was excusing behavior that, I've got news for you, no one excuses in me. No one excuses that in me. If I did that, if I pulled that with like this other person in my life, they would never speak to me again. They would never speak to me again. And yet, people are allowed to do that with me, and here I come. Well, okay. Back for another whipping. Why? Why? We can blame these people. We're not going to change them. We're not going to change them. We have to change our response to them. And this is something we go way deep into in this year's Evil Week. Also in the Shallontourage, you can binge the whole thing. Even if you're only doing the 2-week trial, you can binge the whole thing. No, we might never change the people who just want to harvest our energy and use us and whatever. It's not about that. It's about changing our response to the same thing. But actually, if anything will change it, it's stomping all over those eggshells. Well, I'm sorry that you don't like it. Well, I disagree. Well, leave then. Well, do whatever. It's calling the bluffs and seeing what happens. And seeing what happens. And you never know. It might make for a much healthier dynamic. I would way rather someone stomp on my eggshells if that's how they think I'm behaving, and us have an honest dynamic than them be like seething with resentment and they're like weird and afraid of me. I don't want that. I don't want that. And don't you want to know if the person you're dealing with actually kind of does? And listen, girl, you know what? The answer on the real is no, you probably don't. You might not want to know. You might not want to know. They're actually just after victory. They're after dominance over me. They are a bully and they see me as a weakling. It's a fucking heartbreaker. I know. But so is being on eggshells, because you leak all of your power, all of your self-trust, all of your belief and faith in yourself to try new things and stand up for yourself and get that raise and leave that guy. Gone. Gone. Because on a systemic level, this fight, flight, fawn response, we talked about that yesterday in the Wicked video, is telling you, the body's telling the mind, which is telling the body and telling the mind over and over and over again, you're a huge coward. You're a coward. Oh, you're going to stand up to your boss. I'm going to stand up to my boss. You can't even stand up to your boyfriend. who's like mid. That is self-abandonment. That's what that means. That's what that means. And so when an opportunity comes along with a great person or a great situation, there is something in you that's like, don't do it. Don't do it. You're a pussy, remember? I remember. You are. Just be thankful for what you have. Don't shine too bright. Don't get too big, girl, because at the end of the day, you're going to be over at Kourtney's house, low-key begging for reconciliation because you cannot sit in the feeling of someone being mad at you. And obviously she can. So she wins. And you know what? Based on that, she kind of deserves to win. She, in fact, is tougher. Whew, that's brutal. That is an ugly thing to have to confront, and I don't want you to. You don't deserve it. Like I said in the beginning, I do not think that there is any relationship, commitment, bloodline, marital vows that is worth this. I just don't. I don't. Because what are you holding on to? Self-abandonment? I am the most important person in my world. I am the most important person in my world. And I learned at a very young age, if I don't look out for me, nobody is going to look out for me. I am on my own. This is my villain origin story. This is my sociopath origin story. But you know what? It's also my healthy girl origin story. It's my happy girl origin story. That like, listen, unless you bring in consistency, clarity, love, communication, like all of the good things, I have no need for you. I have no need for you because I'm good on my own. Truly, I am truly okay in my own emotional real estate, in my own space, in my own head and heart. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's talk about this in the comments. Oh, I wanted to tell you. You guys asked yesterday about, in the video, my lip color combo. Okay, hold on. I brought it for you. It's cheap. I'm cheap. Everything's cheap. I'll see if I can link the products. Okay, but we've got, so what I do, I start with this Maybelline. It's called Maybelline Teddy Tint Super Stay. It's very like, it's almost like a matte blusher. Like I use it as blush too. And I just kind of like dot it around my lips. So it's got this like flushed bitten look. Then I take MAC liner in Soar. I've used this forever. And I just kind of sharpen up the edges on the top and the bottom. And then I top it with this e.l.f. It's called Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balm. The color is Yummy Gummy. This is a great Rhode kind of dupe. I actually like it better than Rhode. I actually like it better. And it's like $6 versus Rhode's like what, 30, 20, something like that. Rhode's great, but like, and then I always like dot on my cheeks. And you know, people are like, that's not how you should do it. Well, you know what? Tough shit. Tough shit. I like it. I like it. I like me. And again, I'm the most important person in my world. And if I look like a clown, I'd rather look like a clown than act like one. So anyway, let me know what you guys have to say. Join the Shallontourage. Last few hours, for real this time, of a 2-week special. I'm sorry it didn't work yesterday, but there's still plenty of room for you. We would love to have you join my Substack bestseller and see what all the fuss is about. I'll see you next time, girls. I love you so much.